Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. It is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude.
They say the galaxy is vast, but the Star Wars universe just got a whole lot smaller and messier. Disney just dropped a bombshell, canceling the long-awaited Rey Star Wars movie due to a lawsuit claiming anti-male sexism. Did Disney cave under pressure, or are we witnessing a major shift in the Star Wars universe? And what does this mean for the future of the franchise? Creative differences or creative control? Looks like Star Wars can't stay out of the drama. It's like we can't go 2 weeks without Disney's Star Wars sparking yet another controversy or dealing with an insider leak, and this time, it's bigger than ever. So yes, Star Wars is back in the headlines, and not in a good way. If you're here for the drama, let's be clear that we're not just dealing with 1 or even 2, but 3 major bombshells. And it doesn't matter if you're team Disney Star Wars or you're on the opposite side, there's no denying the chaos brewing behind the scenes. First up on the scandal list, we have a massive shakeup in the Rey Star Wars movie. Stephen Knight, the man behind Peaky Blinders, was supposed to be the main writer for this project, crafting the story in 4 drafts while taking notes from Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. But now he's unexpectedly left the project, and the reasons he's given for his exit are shocking, to say the least. Knight was about to dive into his Peaky Blinders movie, and despite all his efforts to shape Rey's story, Kennedy's endless suggestions kept coming, with demands to adjust the story in ways Knight just couldn't get behind. Now let's get real for a second. With each new Star Wars release, fans are increasingly questioning if Kennedy understands the essence of Star Wars or what makes good storytelling. And after Knight's exit, those questions are louder than ever. Knight's sudden exit doesn't just confirm tensions in production, it also fuels rumors that the Rey-centered Star Wars movie might be in serious trouble. Lucasfilm has a bit of a reputation here, dragging projects out with delays, endless rewrites, and mysterious creative departures until one day the whole thing just disappears from the slate. And from the looks of it, the Rey movie may be next on the chopping block, with a string of delays, creative shakeups, and constant behind-the-scenes drama signaling that this film might never actually make it to theaters. And then there's the question of whether Disney's second-guessing this Rey-centric project altogether. Are they asking themselves, do we even need another Rey movie? Many fans are thinking no. This skepticism surfaces at a particularly awkward time for Disney too, right after Gina Carano scored another legal win against the studio. Her court victories have cast a shadow over the company, adding to the growing list of issues surrounding Lucasfilm and Disney's handling of Star Wars. Now, just when fans thought leadership might finally change, a new report confirms that Kathleen Kennedy is staying on as president of Lucasfilm, at least until the second quarter of 2025. To some, this sounds like a vote of confidence, but to others, there's a whiff of something different. If you dig a little deeper into the announcement, it almost seems as if she's been given a countdown to exit. Disney might be working on a quiet, graceful exit strategy for Kathleen Kennedy, a move that lets them keep their cool without setting off any alarms. Firing her outright would only add fuel to the fire of fans who have been vocal about wanting her gone, and Disney knows that a sudden, harsh dismissal would be a PR nightmare. So maybe the plan is for her to stay on a bit longer, another 6 months or so before mutually parting ways, as they say. But Disney saying Kennedy's position is secure only until the second quarter of 2025 is odd. There's no mention of quarter 3 or even the rest of the year, just until June. If you were in her shoes, that would be suspicious, wouldn't it? Imagine hearing your bosses discuss how you'll be around until at least a specific month. That doesn't exactly scream confidence. It sounds more like they're lining up an exit and being careful with their words. For those who followed her track record, this wouldn't be surprising. Kennedy's recent years with Star Wars haven't exactly been the blockbuster success Disney envisioned. With more misses than hits and no standout shows or movies to turn things around, Disney has every reason to want to change. And while it's not personal, performance speaks for itself. Star Wars is struggling to recapture the magic it once had, and for Disney, that's a major issue. So, if Disney is looking to salvage Star Wars, doing it with subtle moves might be their only option. They can't afford to look panicked, but with so many missteps piling up, who could blame them for feeling the pressure? It's a delicate matter, making necessary changes without looking like they're scrambling. But when it comes to the future of a billion-dollar franchise, subtlety might be their only way out of this mess. Coming back to Steven Knight's departure, well, let's just say there's a lot going on behind the scenes. In fact, it is being reported that Steven Knight's clashes with Lucasfilm's leadership were far from minor disagreements. The rift wasn't just over minor tweaks in the story, it was about the core vision of the movie. After 2 years of development and multiple drafts, Knight joined a long line of frustrated writers, including Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson, who took a shot at shaping the new Jedi Order, but ultimately walked away because of creative differences. But whose creative differences win out every time? It's Kathleen Kennedy's vision. Over and over, she's the one setting the course and rejecting anyone who doesn't align with her vision, which for many fans is where the heart of the problem lies. Fans question if Kennedy truly understands what Star Wars is at its core. If she does, why not take the reins herself? Let her write or direct a movie and put her perspective to the ultimate test. And if it turns out to be a disaster, well, maybe we'll finally know what's been wrong all along. It's painfully clear now. Talented writers at Star Wars are hitting a brick wall, not because of a lack of vision, but because their creativity is being shut down by corporate gatekeepers. Kathleen Kennedy may have made a name as a top-tier producer, but that doesn't mean she's a storyteller. And yet here we are, with writers' decisions being overruled by someone who built her career behind the scenes, not in the writer's room. Her interference is undeniable, and if she's rewriting the work of people brought in specifically to shape Star Wars stories, it's no wonder fans are frustrated with recent shows like The Acolyte, which have failed to land with the audience. A producer's job should be to create the environment for creative minds to thrive, not to dictate the creative process. Let the writers do what they do best: craft gripping stories and characters that pull us back to the Star Wars universe. It's no secret that Disney's recent Star Wars productions have struggled with storytelling, and this tug-of-war between creatives and execs is likely a big part of it. If Lucasfilm just gave its writers some space, it wouldn't solve every problem, but it would be a huge step toward rescuing a franchise that feels like it's losing its way. But Disney and Lucasfilm don't seem ready to make these changes, and without a serious course correction, it's hard to see how Star Wars can find its footing again. It's entirely possible that the Rey movie writer saw this writing on the wall and chose to leave rather than compromise his vision. As it stands, unless the powers at Lucasfilm start empowering the creatives they bring on, this pattern of departures, delays, and disappointing shows isn't likely to end anytime soon. As if the drama surrounding the Rey movie wasn't already thick enough, director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is now at the center of a new controversy that's splitting the Star Wars fandom. The controversy over alleged anti-male sentiment. Frankly speaking, this upcoming new Jedi Order film, expected to bring back Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker, was meant to be a highlight after its announcement at Star Wars Celebration 2023, directed by the Oscar-winning Obaid-Chinoy. But as you can see, controversy has caught up with it fast. Besides the writing room drama, director Obaid-Chinoy's recent comments mixed with an 8-year-old quote where she joked about enjoying making men feel uncomfortable have started another heated online discussions. This old comment is resurfacing and has ignited a fresh wave of debate, with fans divided on whether it's relevant to her work on Star Wars or simply a quote taken wildly out of context. Some fans believe it sheds light on her creative direction, while others argue it's a distraction from the bigger picture and blown out of proportion. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's work has always been about starting conversations that many find difficult but necessary. A celebrated journalist and filmmaker, she has tackled issues that strike at the heart of social inequality in Pakistan, from acid attacks on women to honor killings. Her documentaries on these topics haven't just been impactful on screen, they've led to real legal changes in Pakistan, making a difference for countless women. Recognized globally, Obaid Chinoy received one of Pakistan's highest civilian honors in 2012 and even earned a spot on Time magazine's top 100 most influential people in the world. It's within this context that 8 years ago she made a joking remark about liking to make men feel uncomfortable. The comment came in reference to her activism, where her work directly confronts practices and beliefs that have oppressed women for generations. These topics are hard to digest, especially for those accustomed to silence around these issues, and Obaid Chinoy's approach demands that viewers, especially men, face the harsh reality. The discomfort she spoke of wasn't about personal antagonism, it was about using stories to shed light on abuse, violence, and injustice, urging society to confront them head-on. Now, as she steps into the director's role for the upcoming Star Wars movie, this old quote has been pulled into the fandom debate, leading to a storm of controversy. Fans are divided, with some taking the quote out of context to speculate on her approach to Star Wars. In reality, the remark had nothing to do with the movie or even with entertainment. It was a reflection of her dedication to activism. Anyways, you can't deny that Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy's involvement in the next Star Wars film was bound to start some debate, especially with the project centered on Rey Skywalker, a character who's been polarizing since her debut. The Star Wars sequel trilogy drew a lot of heat, some of it valid criticism about the lack of a cohesive storyline and a divisive conclusion in The Rise of Skywalker. But let's face it, the backlash has often veered into misogynistic territory, with some voices wielding criticism as a way to stir up controversy and, in the process, rack up views and clicks. Given this atmosphere, the response to Obaid Chinoy's role has quickly become intense and, for some, disproportionately negative. There's an unmistakable sense that certain circles may be aiming to discredit her before she even has a chance to show her vision. Recently, British newspaper The Telegraph added fuel to the fire, publishing a piece suggesting she lacks the experience to take on a Star Wars project. Though the article itself tries to strike a balanced tone, the headline leans into the criticism, reinforcing doubts about her qualifications. It's worth noting that Obaid Chinoy is no ordinary choice. She's a two-time Academy Award-winning filmmaker whose documentaries have sparked significant change. For Lucasfilm to bring in such a respected storyteller should be seen as a win, a chance to infuse Star Wars with a fresh, powerful perspective. Yet the criticisms going around her suggest that some are unwilling to give her a fair shot, casting her in the crosshairs of a fandom already brimming with divided opinions and old wounds. The real challenge here may not just be the movie itself, but the barriers Obaid Chinoy faces from those who are wary or even hostile toward a filmmaker with a background and focus unlike any Star Wars has seen before. Whether the skepticism is rooted in genuine concern or reactionary bias, one thing's clear: Obaid Chinoy will be under an intense spotlight. For those open to her approach, her involvement promises something new, a chance to reimagine Star Wars with a storyteller who's unafraid to tackle complex issues. In recent years, Star Wars has started embracing diverse perspectives, bringing fresh energy to a galaxy long defined by a single vision. Projects like Star Wars Visions, which handed the creative direction to animation studios worldwide, have introduced unique, powerful stories that feel both familiar and refreshingly new. Now, Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy is set to bring another groundbreaking viewpoint to the franchise. Not only as the first female director of a Star Wars film, but also as the first Pakistani American to step into that role. Her unique background promises a distinctive lens on the Star Wars universe, something fans haven't seen before. However, Obaid Chinoy won't be navigating this project solo. A majority of male production team is overseeing the project, and that makes the recent backlash against Obaid Chinoy even more telling. For some critics, to claim she's out to make men uncomfortable feels hollow and disingenuous. It raises questions about whether the criticism is based on any real concern for the story itself, or if it's just another reflexive reaction to change within the franchise. What we have here is a bold choice by Lucasfilm, a move toward expanding Star Wars into territories it's never ventured before. For fans open to seeing this universe evolve, Obaid Chinoy's perspective offers a thrilling promise. Her work might just deepen the Star Wars galaxy, infusing it with the complex, nuanced storytelling she's known for. But where does this leave the fans? Lucasfilm's silence has only heightened the suspense, leaving us to wonder just how far and in what direction the new Jedi Order will ultimately go. Where is the new Jedi Order headed? The truth is, New Jedi Order is still moving forward despite all the drama and speculation. There's no official word that it's been canceled, though it's understandable why fans feel uncertain given the recent controversy surrounding the project. What's really adding fuel to the rumors is the fact that Lucasfilm hasn't even set a concrete release date for the movie. With no date announced, technically the project can't be delayed, yet the ongoing silence keeps everyone guessing. Initially, many fans thought New Jedi Order would be the first new Star Wars film in theaters with a tentative release date of May 22, 2026. But that slot now belongs to The Mandalorian and Grogu, reshuffling expectations. The next potential slot in Lucasfilm's lineup is December 18, 2026, and while many assume this date will be for New Jedi Order, it's still purely speculative. This assumption largely stems from the fact that The Mandalorian and Grogu and New Jedi Order are the most openly discussed and marketed projects right now. However, without any confirmation from Lucasfilm, the December 2026 date could easily go to another project, or even further out to the reserved December 17, 2027 release date. Until Lucasfilm provides concrete details, everything remains a guessing game. And while these controversies and the lack of certainty might make fans feel wary, the project is still on Lucasfilm's slate. For now, New Jedi Order is in that gray area between production and release, leaving fans hopeful but cautious. Realistically, even if New Jedi Order were aiming for a December 2026 release, the timeline is more than manageable. With over 2 years to get the project off the ground, Lucasfilm has ample time to finalize the script, gather the cast, and complete filming. Take The Rise of Skywalker as a case in point. Production on that film didn't start until August 2018, and it was still ready for its December 2019 release, giving New Jedi Order a comparatively relaxed timeline. Right now, New Jedi Order seems to be in the earlier stages. As Daisy Ridley herself has hinted, this is typical for big productions, and with whispers of filming set to begin in 2025, everything seems to be on track. Without any official word from Lucasfilm, all we have are speculations and rumors, many of which have created an illusion of delays that may not exist. In the end, the timeline looks solid. 2 years is a reasonable window, and with no concrete date yet, Lucasfilm can still pace things flexibly, ensuring that New Jedi Order has all the time it needs to become a worthy addition to the Star Wars legacy. What's more, in April 2024, Daisy Ridley shared her enthusiasm about returning to the role of Rey, even though she hasn't yet read a script. She's ready to wield Rey's lightsaber once more, describing her return as both thrilling and a unique challenge. It feels pretty amazing to be able to continue a character, she told Empire. She continued that it's an interesting challenge as an actor to come back to something and try to figure out what's changed for them and what's changed for the actor. Ridley expressed genuine joy about rejoining the Star Wars universe, noting, "Honestly, if I wasn't excited, I wouldn't have done it. It feels like a great thing to be a part of." Her comments suggest that she's more than ready to bring Rey's journey to life in a new way, with the character's growth paralleling her own. While casting details remain under wraps, there's a possibility that Grogu could make an appearance. Set approximately 45 years after The Mandalorian, the New Jedi Order timeline would place Grogu at around 90 years old, the age when Yoda himself achieved the rank of Jedi Knight in the current canon. Given this intriguing detail, Grogu could be ready to play a significant role alongside Rey in this new era of Jedi. With Ridley's excitement and the prospect of Grogu potentially joining the New Jedi Order, fans have plenty to look forward to in this evolving Star Wars chapter. What other challenges do you think the movie will face ahead? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.